Hi everyone, my name is Kate. Welcome back to my wondernetting channel. Today we're gonna crochet with you this cute baby doll top. This top is really easy to crochet, even a beginner can cope with it. I made it in about 4 days, I guess. What I like the most about this top that you can easily turn it into a full dress or maybe add a long sleeves and it will be a full cover top. Also, I really love that you can wear this belt as a scarf as it's trending right now. So yes, it's like a multifunctional top. I'm inspired by this picture I found on Pinterest. This top is knitted and I guess it's machine knitted top, but I wanted to make my full crochet version with my own design. So yeah, let's get started, and please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like this video and leave your comment. What tutorial do you want to see next on my channel? And let's get started. I'll be using this yarn. It's 100% cotton. I don't know this brand. It's Cotton Nature, Lana's Open. In each skein 75 grams and 150 meters. Recommended hook size 3 or 4 millimeters. I have 3 skeins of this color. This color is for the top, the whole top, and this color is for the edging. This is the cutest pink color and also it's 100% cotton. I recommend you to use 100% cotton too, or maybe acrylic, but I don't recommend you use acrylic. Always try to crochet your clothes with natural fiber. This is the cheapest yarn. I think I found it in some Asian store, like maybe everything for $1 or something like that. So it's not so expensive to buy cotton yarn, 100% cotton yarn. Of course, there are some luxury cotton options, but these ones are affordable and will cost you almost nothing. So let's get started. As I said, recommended hook size 3-4. I will use 3 millimeters, so the top will be not so see-through. I recommend you to use. Also, we will start with the top part and sleeves, then we will make the bottom parts and only then the edging. Super easy. I take my lightest color and the pattern consists of 18 stitches. So first we need to make a chain of air loops that should divide by 18. Try to make this chain more loosely so the bottom of the stitches will not tighten so much. So we need to cast on as many loops as you need to fit your chest circumference, and this number should divide by 18. I'll meet you when it will fit my chest circumference. So I casted on 126 loops. It divides by 18 and it fits my chest circumference. Let's see. Like this. It's a little bit loose as you can see, but it's okay. We don't need to make this top like fitted top. It's okay if it will be a little loose, because at first I casted on 108 loops and it didn't fit me, so I had to add 18 more stitches, and right now it's 126 loops. Right now we will join it into a circle and we'll be crocheting in the rounds, in the turning rounds. My chain is now almost 89 centimeters long. Make sure it's not twisted, then we join it into a circle with a slip stitch. Next, we chain 3 and we're going to follow this pattern chart. If you know how to read charts, you can take a screenshot and crochet the whole top in the round with this chart. Here's rows 1, 2, 3 and 4 will be repeated. For those who don't know how to read charts, watch closely. I'm going to teach you how to read them right now. The first chain of 3 already counts as our first double crochet in this row, so now we need to make 2 more double crochets following the chart. Right now we read this chart from right to left. Yarn over, insert the hook into the next stitch, make 1 double crochet, crochet first 2 loops, then 2 more, yarn over again, and into the next stitch make another double crochet. That means we now have a total of 3 double crochets. Next, according to the chart, we chain 3. At the bottom we skip just one stitch. From the next stitches we start making 17 double crochets in a row. Don't worry if you have these big loops here, later we'll crochet the bottom part of the top and these loops won't be visible because this is where our waistband will be. If you don't want these gaps, you can insert the hook under 2 loops instead. I've made 17 double crochets and now according to the chart I need to chain 3, skip one stitch at the bottom and make another 17 double crochets. So we're just repeating this all the way around. That means right now the chart says to make 14 double crochets, but then we continue just like at the beginning, adding 3 more double crochets, so it's chain 3, 17 double crochets, chain 3, 17 double crochets, and keep repeating that until the end of the round. So I ended up with 14 double crochets and it's okay because at the beginning of the row we had 3 double crochets, so in total we have here 17 double crochets. We need to join the row with a slip stitch into the 3rd loop of the first chain of air loops. And this is how our first row looks like. Let's go to the 2nd row. This is what I have. Chain 3 and turn your work. Our next row starts from left to right. That's how we read the chart here. The first chain of 3 already counts as our first double crochet, but now not counting that first one. We need to make 12 more double crochets. I recommend using the gaps as you guide because we'll be using them as reference points throughout the whole pattern. It's much easier this way. For now, we need to stop 2 stitches before the gap from the previous row. In total, we'll have 13 double crochets at the beginning, but that 13th, the first chain of air loops, is the one from the start of the row on the right hand side. So don't be confused. I stopped 2 stitches before the gap from the previous row. Now according to the chart, I need to chain 2, skip those 2 stitches and make a single crochet right in the middle of that gap. Then chain 2 again, skip the next 2 double crochets from the previous row and work 13 double crochets in a row, stopping again 2 stitches before the next gap from the previous row. We are going to keep repeating this pattern for the entire row. 13 double crochets, chain 2, single crochet into the gap, chain 2, 13 double crochets and so on. So this row will go faster. I finished my 2nd row with chain of 2 and right now we need to join the row with a slip stitch into the 3rd loop of the first chain. So here you can see our little pattern. Okay, let's go to the 3rd row. Start the row with a chain of 3 and turn your work. Row 3 is read from right to left and according to the chart we'll be working almost the entire row in double crochets, with a few spots where we'll add 3 chains. The first chain of 3 already counts as our first double crochet, so we need to make 12 more double crochets, giving us a total of 13 at the beginning. Work them into each stitch. So I've now made all 13 double crochets including the starting chain. Next, I chain 3, skip 1 stitch below, and then work 17 double crochets. And we need to repeat this pattern all around. 17 double crochets, chain of 3, skip 1 below, 17 double crochets, chain 3, and so on. I finished the row and joined it with a slip stitch into the first chain of 3. Now we chain 3 again, turn the work, and according to our chart we again need to stop 2 stitches before the gap from the previous row. The first double crochet is already counted with our starting chain. Now we make 2 more double crochets following the chart. This row reads from left to right. I stopped 2 stitches before the gap from the previous row, chain 2, made a single crochet into the gap, chain 2 again, skip 2 stitches at the bottom, and then continued with 13 double crochets up to the next gap. Basically, this row is the same as row 2, just shifted slightly to the side. Continue repeating the pattern from rows 1 through 4. Row 5 will be exactly the same as row 1. Repeat the cycle until the width of the top suits you, enough to cover your bust or as long as you prefer. After you reach the desired length, we'll move on crocheting the straps for the top. And then you just need to keep crocheting until the desired height of the top part. I will be crocheting maybe the same height as my usual top. This is how much I've done so far. This seam will be on the side of the top. I made 18 rows and I think I will stop here. This is how it looks on me. And right now we're gonna make the straps. On the top also will be the edging. This pattern gives me a cozy homeware vibe, don't you think? Really love it. My top is 18 centimeters tall. As I mentioned earlier, I made 18 rows and 36 centimeters wide. Now we're going to make the straps. Place your seam on the side of the top so it stays at the side. We'll start crocheting the straps right away. To do this, use stitch markers to mark the desired strap widths. On both the front and back, I have the same spacing between the straps, about 21 stitches apart. If you don't want the straps to slip off your shoulders, which can happen, make the straps a little wider in the back, instead keeping them the same narrow width at the front. I chain 2, we are starting with a decrease. Turn my work, and now it's best to continue the same pattern we used for the top, right where the strap will be. If that feels too tricky, you can just work in a double crochets without worrying about matching the pattern. You can also simply follow the chart if that's easier. Right now I'm just crocheting according to the pattern until I reach the marker I placed. Chain 2, then make a double crochet into the next stitch. This already counts as a decrease. Then I keep following the pattern, and at the very end, when I reach the last 2 stitches, I make another decrease. As I mentioned earlier, it's really easy to use the gaps in the pattern from the previous row as your guide. That's actually how I crocheted even without strictly following the chart. If your strap happens to start with a chain, just work a double crochet instead of the chains. I reached my 2 last stitches and we need to make another decrease. So yarn over, insert the hook into the second to last stitch, grab the yarn, pull it out and crochet only 2 loops on the hook. Then yarn over again, insert the hook into the last stitch, grab the yarn, pull it out, crochet only 2 loops on the hook and then 3 loops together. So we made a decrease. The next row will be without any decreases, so chain 3, turn your work. The chain of 3 already counts as our first double crochet, so start with the next stitch, crochet this row, following the pattern until the end. The next row also has decreases, so we chain 2, turn the work and make a double crochet into the next stitch. This counts as a decrease. Then we continue following the pattern and at the very end, with the last 2 stitches, we make another decrease. We've made the decrease at the end. The next row will be worked without decreases, so chain 3, turn your work, and we'll just crochet straight rows upward for as many rows as you need up to the middle of your shoulder. Why the middle? Because on the back of the top we'll do the same thing, so the seam will sit right on your shoulder. For now, just crochet straight rows following the pattern without any decreases. At the end, make chain 1 and cut the yarn. This is what you should have so far. I made a total of 12 rows and now we'll do the same on the other side. I'll show you how to join the yarn, after that you'll work the same way. Since we started crocheting from the wrong side of the top, we need to turn the top, make the starting loop, insert the hook where your marker is, chain 2 and make a double crochet into the next stitch. This already counts as a decrease, so our first row is decreases. Then continue exactly the same way as we did with the first strap, do the same on the back of the top. In total you should end up with 4 straps. Next you'll need to sew them together and that's it. Today is day 2 of crocheting the top. This is what I've got so far. If you like it, you can leave it like that. Right now I want to crochet the sleeves and then go to the bottom part. I join the shoulders with the tapestry needle, hide all the ends. So right now I want to make one sleeve myself and only then show you how to do the second one. Honestly, the sleeves are very easy to make. We just need to crochet around the entire armhole in the same stitch pattern, working in the round. The stitch count doesn't even have to match exactly like it did at the beginning. I mentioned earlier it should be 18 because we'll be joining everything under the arm, and honestly you won't even notice if the pattern doesn't line up perfectly there. So I'll just start the pattern exactly the same way I started the top originally, working in the round and joining the rounds the same way. If a round happens to end on chain stitches, I'll just make double crochet instead, join the round and start the next one. If you want to make long sleeves, you just keep crocheting in the round until you reach the length you want. Now of course I'll show you how we start the sleeve. I begin at the underarm, insert the hook, chain 3 and then start crocheting according to our stitch pattern, exactly the same way we did at the very beginning of the top. But here, as we go up along the strap, the rows run sideways. In each row I make 2 double crochets. Remember, 1 row on the strap equals 2 double crochets. So for each row I count it as 2 stitches and insert the hook right into the middle of the outermost stitch to avoid large gaps. As I mentioned before, it doesn't really matter if the pattern matches the exact stitch count for the chart. I just join the round as usual, chain 3, turn my work and continue crocheting in the round just like we did for the main part of the top. Work as many rows as you need for your sleeves. I'll be making about 9 rows. So this is what I've got so far, let's try it on. This is how the top looks. By the way, you can leave it like this and wear it as a crop top or a tank top like I'm wearing now. It looks really cute. Now we'll move on to the bottom part of the top. Find this side where your seam is, that's where we'll start. Turn your top upside down. We'll be working from the top down here, and this part will actually have a different stitch pattern. It will match the top section in the style, but will be worked a little differently. For the first row we're going to crochet only double crochets, no pattern yet, but with increases. What should you do? I recommend either making 2 double crochets in each stitch and increase in every stitch, which will make the bottom of the top more flared and loose. This is great if you want to turn this top into a dress, and it will also make your stitch count match the pattern perfectly. I'll be doing a more advanced version, making an increase in every other stitch, 1 regular double crochet, then 1 increase. Regular double crochet, 1 increase. Why is this harder version? Because the stitch count won't match the pattern exactly, so you need to crochet each row by eye, following the general look of the pattern rather than exact stitch count. So choose your option. Either make an increase into each stitch, then your stitch count match the pattern perfectly, or make an increase in every other stitch, then the count won't match the pattern perfectly, but it won't be so flared and loose. So now continue crocheting according to the version you chose all the way to the end of the row. Just double crochets, increases in every stitch or increases in every other stitch. I'll be working the second option as I mentioned. In the next row the pattern will start to match. The only difference with the advanced method is how you end each row. But again, this depends on how many stitches you started with on your top. That's why the second option is better suited for more experienced crocheters. This is the chart for the bottom part. Again, you can take a screenshot for convenience. Now we'll start the first row. We read the first row from right to left. The chain of 3 already counts as our first double crochet. I turn my work. According to the pattern, I immediately need to chain 2 more. So I add 2 chains to my initial 3. Skip 2 stitches below and make a single crochet into the third stitch. Then chain 2 again, skip 2 stitches below and work 13 double crochets. Keep repeating this pattern until the end of the row. Row 2 read from left to right, so I chain 3, which counts as our first double crochet, and then we just follow the pattern. As I mentioned before, it's easier to use the gaps from the previous row as your guide. In this row we'll only work double crochets with one chain stitch over each single crochet from the previous row. Actually, from here it's easier to follow the pattern itself. The stitch pattern repeats from rows 1 to 4, but in fact 2 rows are the same, just offset slightly. So just crochet according to the pattern. I also leave a reference here, show how to work each row to make it easier for you. Crochet until you reach the length you want. If you want a dress, make it long. If you want a top, stop at the desired top length. After that, all that's left is to add the edging and make the waistband. I had to buy one more skein of pink yarn because this length isn't enough for me and I want to make it a little bit longer. So for the whole top, I will use maybe 3.5 skeins of yarn. For now, I'm happy with how it looks. It's really cute, you know. Wear maybe white jeans or white skirt underneath will be so beautiful, so cute. Write me in the comments what do you think about this top. I want to stop it right here. As you can see, it covers my belly, my pregnant belly. I think the girls without belly, the top will look more flowy. So yeah, this top definitely worth trying. I want to add the belt right here, the edging of course, and maybe the edging at the bottom. Maybe like this will be cute too. What do you think? I prefer this version because this one I just don't like it with my belly. I will leave it like this, add the belt, the edging, and our top will be done. Please write me in the comments what do you think about this top. For some reason the part where I worked the waistband and the edging wasn't recorded, but don't worry, it's very simple. I'll explain what to do. I added edging to all the edges of the top, around the neckline, the armholes and the bottom. The edging is very easy. We simply join the yarn anywhere we like, chain 3, and in the same stitch work 4 double crochets. Then skip 2 stitches below and make a single crochet into the 3rd stitch. Then again skip 2 stitches and work 5 double crochets into the next stitch. Repeat this pattern: 5 double crochets, skip 2, single crochet, skip 2, 5 double crochets. When you work up along the strap, as I mentioned before, one row counts as 2 stitches, so work accordingly. Do the same for the sleeves and the bottom. Once the edging is complete, join with the slip stitch to the 1st stitch and cut the yarn. For the bottom part of the top, I worked about 23 rows, roughly 23 centimeters. To make the waistband, I chained about 200 stitches and worked 4 rows of simple single crochets back and forth, creating a basic big rectangle. At the end of the 4th row, I chained 3 and started the same edging as on the top. Chain 3, work 4 double crochets under those chains, skip 2 stitches, single crochet, skip 2 stitches, then work 5 double crochets in the next stitch and repeat this across the whole waistband. At the very end, join the round with a slip stitch, chain 1, cut the yarn and sew in all the ends, and your top or dress is ready. I really love how it turned out. It looks so cozy. I'm sure it would look even better in other colors besides pink. I've even thought about making one in beige brown. It would be even more versatile for everyday wear. I also really like wearing this top as a regular top with a scarf. I think it looks super trendy that way. I personally love how this top looks with leggings, and I'm sure it would look really cute with a skirt too. I hope you love this top just as much as I do. Make sure to try it in different colors and tag me on my Instagram. I see everything and I'm really excited to see your creations. I thank you for watching this video. I'm sure you did it well. If you have any questions, please feel free to add them in the comments or DM me on my Instagram. And we'll see you in the next video. Bye kitties!